right. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you had a great day. We are going to go ahead and get started just on our back. So finding any comfortable position with the legs. So if you want it to be super relaxing, just go and extend those legs out long, resting the hands on the stomach, on the chest. You can start here if you want a little more of a stretch. Just start out and just bring the bottoms of the feet together. Let those knees open up wide. If we're going to be in this position, think about bringing the low back down towards the mat. Maybe a little bit of tight or tension through that core, protecting that low back. Or, again, another option would just be to bring those feet a little bit wider and bring those knees together to touch. So no right or wrong way, just finding that position for us to come to this space, to let everything from the day, let it all go, and start to just focus on that breath. Taking that really big breath in through the nose. And open the mouth and sigh out that breath. And now close down the mouth again. Taking that big breath in through the nose. And then just exhale out through the nose. Again, in through the nose. And out. Feeling that belly rise, that chest expand. Exhaling, noticing that fall of the belly, of the chest. Just noticing where you feel that breath. Maybe you feel it kind of in the nose, maybe you feel it at the chest. Just focusing on where you feel the breath the most. We're going to start to bring those knees parallel to each other, feet about hip distance apart. And bring those arms out to that T and just drop the knees over to that right side. Just pause there for a moment. Again, keeping that core tight. And then we'll bring those knees to center and then drop the knees over to that left side. And we'll go back to center, again over to the right. And center to the left. Let's go one more time each way, to center, to the right. And center to the left. Good, bring those knees back to center. Let's go ahead and hug that right knee into the chest. We can extend that left leg out long. So flexing that left foot, so point the left toes up towards the ceiling. Now we're gonna extend our right leg. So interlacing those fingers behind that hamstring, flexing that foot. So we're gonna press that foot up towards the ceiling. We're just gonna gently draw that leg in a little bit closer to you. So feeling that stretch all along the backs of the legs. Feel free to reach up a little bit higher and pull that leg a little bit closer. Just a little bit more intensity in that stretch. And if that's a little bit too aggressive, just keep the hand kind of right below the knee. Now we're going to start to bend into that knee. Bring that knee out towards that right shoulder. We're going to reach for that big toe, or we can come towards the outside edge of the foot, pulling that knee right down towards the ground, right outside the shoulder. Maybe extend that leg out a little bit more. And then we'll release. That left hand is going to guide that knee across into that twist as we reach that right arm out. pausing for a few breaths, softening into this twist. And then bring that knee back to center. And let's switch sides. So hug that left knee into the chest. Let's extend that right leg long. So flex that foot, point those toes up. Now straighten that left leg, grabbing on right below that knee on that hamstring. So we're going to be a little more active with it. So pressing that hamstring into the hands and then pulling that leg a little bit closer to you. If you want to reach up a little bit higher. And now we'll let that left knee bend. We're going to reach for the outside edge of that foot. And then start to draw that knee down right outside that shoulder. Maybe extending that leg out a little bit more. Now releasing that foot, that right hand will reach for the knee and just twist that leg across the body as we reach that left arm out for balance. And just pausing for a few breaths. And then bring that knee back to center. Go ahead and hug both knees into the chest. Just give it a gentle rock from side to side. Now go ahead and rock forward and back. Let's go ahead and come up to a seat and then just make your way onto your hands and knees. So we're going to come into that tabletop. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath those hips. On that inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, round that spine, press the shoulder blades away, draw that belly up and in. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. And now bring it into a neutral spine. We're going to step those feet back to a plank and then just pop those hips up into that downward facing dog. And so maybe pedaling those feet out, a little sway through those hips, whatever feels good. Staying with that breath, really active, pressing those palms into the mat, pressing those heels down towards the mat. It's okay if they don't touch. And come onto the toes. Bend those knees. Let's step those feet up to the top of the mat. Sliding those hands up the shins for that half lift. And slide those hands down as we fold. Just let that head hang heavy, the arms hang heavy. And then inhale, bend into those knees, nice flat back. Let's rise all the way up to standing, reaching those arms up nice and tall. We're gonna swing that right arm back, left arm reaches forward into a twist. So looking back, fighting that right thumb. Inhaling those arms up and twist it to the other side. So left arm reaches back, right arm reaches forward. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, find that fold. Half lift on that inhale. And exhale, let's plant those hands down, step those feet back to our plank. Shift that weight forward. If you need to lower onto the knees, you can as we move into that chaturanga, lifting that chest up dog or cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, when you're ready, just send those hips to the sky, down dog. Just pause it for a few breaths. And then come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of them up. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist. Right arm reaches back, left arm forward. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale it to the other side. But inhale, reach it back up. And exhale, fold. Find that flat back. And exhale, plant those hands, step those feet back. As we lower down. Inhale, lift. And exhaling those hips up, downward facing dog. And now inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise. Exhale, twist. Right arm reaches back, left hand forward. Inhale it back up. Exhale, twist the other side. Inhale, reach it back up. And exhale, fold. Find that flat back. And exhale, plant those hands. Step those feet back to our plank. Lower down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, let's send those hips back to that child's pose. So those knees can come a little bit wider. Toes are pointing towards each other as we just rest that head down. It's a little bit more active in this child's pose, reaching through those hands, reaching through the arms, pressing into those palms. A little bit of a stretch through those shoulders. Feel that nice lengthening through the spine as we press those hips back. And then walk it over to that right side. You can even walk those hands off of the mat. Big reach through that left arm. Pressing that left hip back and then breathing into that left side. Feel an even bigger stretch through that lat, so through that side body. Then bring it back to center. Let's go over to that other side. So reach out long through that right arm, right hip back. Big breath in, focusing that breath to that right side. And then bring it back to center. Go ahead and lift back up onto those hands and knees. Step the feet back to a plank and then hips up, downward facing dog. And we'll come onto the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet up to the top of the mat. Finding that half lift. Exhale, fold. Walking those big toes together to touch. And then inhale, we'll rise up. We'll sink those hips down to that chair. And then we'll twist. We're gonna reach that right arm back, left arm is reaching forward. Again, finding that same twist, that T with those arms. Inhale it back up and exhale to the other side. So left arm reaches back, right arm reaches forward. Inhaling those arms up and exhale, lower those hands down towards the ground and might have to bend those knees a lot to flatten out that back with the fingertips down. Now we're gonna lift that left leg up, square those hips off. So right here in this position, you'll start to feel that stretch through that left or through that right hamstring. Pressing through that heel. Now curl that knee in. Press it back out. 2 more times. Curl it in. Press it out. Curl it in. Press it out. And then take that big step back, lower that knee down, inhaling those arms up overhead. So rib cage down, pressing those hips forward. And twist, left hand forward, right hand back, same idea. Then this time we're gonna flip it. Left arm's gonna reach up towards the ceiling, right hand reaches back towards that back hamstring. So really big stretch, that left side all the way down into that hip flexor. And then we'll circle those hands down, step the feet back to the top of the mat. Find that half lift, so bending those knees as much as you need to. We're gonna lift that right leg up, flex that foot, point the toes down. Curl that knee in. Inhale, reach it out. Curl and reach. Curl and reach. Lowering those toes down. Lower that knee down. And inhale, we'll reach those arms up overhead. And now we'll twist. Right hand's gonna reach forward, left arm reaches back. Now we're gonna flip that palm so that left arm is reaching up, or the right arm, excuse me, is reaching up. Left hand is reaching towards that hamstring. Twist and a lean. Big side stretch. And circle, those hands down. Go ahead and step those feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, fold. Just let the head and the arms hang nice and heavy. And now bend into those knees as we walk those toes a little bit closer together. Inhale, we'll rise up. Exhale, sink those hips down into that chair. We're gonna twist. Right arm reaches back, left arm reaches forward. Inhale it back up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, reach it up. Sink the hips a little bit lower. And then straighten those legs as we fold. And bend into the knees, flatten out that back. We're gonna lift that left leg up. Exhale, curl that knee in. Inhale, press it out. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, press it out. So we're gonna lower that foot down, lower the knee down. Inhaling those arms up overhead. Press the hips forward, core tight. And then we'll twist. Left hand forward, right arm reaches back. And then flip it. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Right hand reaches for that hamstring. Now holding that T position. Okay, we'll come back to the T. So left hand forward, right arm back. Now lower that. Left hand down towards the mat. Right arm reaches up. Curling the back toes under. Lift that knee up. So in that lunge. Good, hold. Now lower the right forearm down towards that right thigh. Left heel spins down. So we're coming into that warrior two stance with the feet. Rotate that left arm up and over. So we're coming into an extended side angle. That knee is bent, the knee stacked right over that ankle. The chest is open, core is tight. Inhale, rise back up. Straighten that front leg, reverse it, reaching that arm up and back. And then reach to your arms. Keep that front leg straight. Slight bend in that front knee. Reach the hands forward first. Lower that hand to the shin. Open up through that chest. That left arm is reaching up towards the ceiling. Right hand is reaching down towards the mat. And then we'll circle those hands all the way down. Let's go ahead and step it back to a plank. Move through a vinyasa. Exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Big toes come together to touch. Half lift. And fold. Inhale, rise. Sink those hips down. Let's sweep that right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale it back up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, straighten those legs as we fold. Finding that flat back, we're gonna lift. Other side. Right leg up. Flex that foot, square the hips. Curl that knee to the nose. Press it back out. Curl it in. And press. Curl it in. Press it back out. Big step back, lowering that knee down. Inhale, reaching those arms up overhead. Press the hips forward, core is tight. Now that right arm's gonna reach forward. Left arm reaches back. Now we'll reverse it. Right arm reaches up. Left hand reaches for that hamstring. Now reach out those arms. Just come back up. Lower that right hand down towards the mat. Left arm reaches up. Tuck the back toes and then lift that knee up off of the mat. Good, hold it here. Really strong through that back leg. From there, we'll lower that left forearm towards that left thigh. Right heel is gonna spin down. We're gonna circle that right arm up and over. So we're coming into that extended side angle. Big reach through that right hand, open that chest, pull that rib cage down, tailbone down. A little more bend into that front knee. Inhale, we'll rise back up, straighten that front leg as we reverse it. So reaching that left arm up and back. And then we'll reach out those arms. Slight bend in that front knee, reach it forward. Lower that hand down towards the chin. Right arm reaches up. Another breath. And then we'll lower that hand down. Step it back to plank. And down. Inhale, lift. Exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. And just pause it here for a moment. Pedaling those feet or maybe finding stillness, whatever you need. Let's go ahead and step that right foot outside that right hand. Back knee lowers down. Again, we're going to twist. Right arm reaches up. Now, if you want, you can reach back for that foot, grabbing onto that quad, that big stretch. If this is a little bit too much, hey, just hold this twist just for another breath or two. And then wherever you're at, just go ahead and release it. Lower those hands down. We can lower down onto those forearms. Into that lizard lunge, that nice flat back, chest pulls forward. You can turn those toes out a few degrees and then maybe even let that knee open up a little bit wider, so like you're trying to press that knee away. Now, the hips are staying pulled back towards the middle of the mat, and just the knee itself is pressing out. Good, then bring it back up onto the hands. Go ahead and send that leg back, down dog. And let's go to the other side. We'll step that left foot outside that left hand. Back knee lowers down. And we'll add in that twist. So that left arm is going to reach up. And maybe we bend that back knee, reaching for that foot. And if that's too aggressive, you do not have to do this stretch. You can just stay in that twist. So maybe just holding it right here. One more breath. And then make your way out of it. Lowering those hands, or lowering onto those forearms if it's accessible. If you'd rather stay on your hands, that's fine too. You want that nice flat back. And then if you'd like, flexing into that foot, letting that knee open up a little bit wider. few more breaths. Getting back onto those, oops, sorry guys. Still with me, sorry. My phone's almost out of batteries. All right, and come onto those hands if you haven't already. Send it back to that down dog. We'll go into that pigeon. So bring that right knee towards that right wrist. Foot comes across. Left leg slides back. Let's stay on those hands for just a moment. So really actively pressing into that right shin. Pull that knee back as that left knee presses down and pulls forward. Okay, so we're really strong through those hips. Almost so much so that you don't have to, but you can get really light on those fingers or maybe even lift those hands up off the mat. Keeping that tension. Let's lower down onto those forearms and just rest that head down. Just reconnecting with that breath in and out through the nose. And then slowly come back to those hands. Send it back to down dog. And then we'll bring that left knee towards that left wrist. Foot comes across. And then slide that right leg back. Okay, so again, stay on those hands at first. So again, really pressing that left knee into the mat, or left shin into the mat, pull back. Right knee is pulling forward, so really strong, stabilizing through those hips. Again, maybe even getting light on those fingers. And then when you're ready, lower down onto those forearms. Just rest your head down. And staying with that breath. And then come back onto those hands. Send it back to down dog. And any movements that you need, get that blood flow back to those legs. And then let's come on to our backs. And I'll just hug both knees into the chest. Give it a little rock from side to side. Massage out those muscles that run along the sides of the spine, maybe even the tops of those hips. Let's go into that happy baby once you bring yourself back to center. So we're going to bring those knees outside the shoulders. We're going to reach to the outside edges of the feet, draw that tailbone down, and then we're going to lift those bottoms of the feet to point up towards the ceiling. Pull that tailbone down, pulling those knees down. Just a few more breaths here. Maybe extend those legs out a little bit more. Big stretch through those hamstrings. And go ahead and bring those feet together. Knees will stay open, and then just drop those feet down into that butterfly stretch. So again, keeping that core tight, keeping that low back flat on the mat, and letting those knees just open up wide. And then you can use those hands to guide those knees back together, hugging the right knee into the chest, left leg extends out, and then we'll twist that knee across the body as that right arm reaches out for that twist. Bring that knee back to center. Switching sides, hug that left knee in, right leg extends out, and then twist. And then bring that knee back to center. Again, hug both knees into the chest. Just give it a little rock again. Maybe even just finding that stillness. And let's round that spine. Bring the forehead to the knees. Curl into that little ball. And then instead, extend those legs out. Arms reach up overhead. Full body stretch. Fingertips all the way down through those toes. And then we'll exhale those arms down by the sides. Palms will face up. Shoulder blades will walk together. Big breath in. And exhale, side out. As we just gently relax and rest here for these next couple minutes. Let's begin to deepen your breath. Just begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And reaching those arms overhead for that full body stretch from the fingertips all the way down through your toes. And then drawing those knees into your chest as you gently roll over onto your right side. Just letting that right arm support your head. Left arm just falls in front, completely resting on your side. And then gently press yourself up into that comfortable seat. Eyes remain closed, just sitting nice and tall. So letting those palms rest on your knees. Just pausing it here for a few breaths. Just breathing in and out through the nose. Nice full inhale, big expansion through the rib cage to the lungs. And exhaling that breath out, just nice and slow. Blinking open those eyes. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great evening. And then hopefully I see you guys back here tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for our power yoga. All right, thanks guys. Have a good night.